Brentford 3-1 Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes penalty saved as defeat ramps up pressure on Ruben Amorim. Report and free match highlights as Nathan Collins avoids red after lengthy VAR check for incident that led to Bruno Fernandes saved penalty despite appearing not to play the ball. Benjamin Sesko pulled first-half goal back after Igor Thiago doubled before Matthias Jensen's added-time goal. Bruno Fernandes had a penalty saved as Manchester United fell to a 3-1 defeat at Brentford to put the spotlight back on Ruben Amorim as his search for back-to-back league wins continues. United were 2-1 down as Fernandes waited more than 4 minutes to take his second-half spot kick, which was eventually saved by Kevin Kelleher after VAR checked if Nathan Collins should have been sent off for denying Bryan Mbeumo a goal-scoring opportunity. Referee Craig Pawson's decision to book Collins was upheld, without him being sent to the monitor, despite the Brentford defender making no clear attempt to play the ball when pulling his former teammate back by the shoulder. Fernandes' second failure from the spot kick this season ultimately cost United, who are now winless in their last 8 away league games and back in the bottom half as Brentford climb above them after a thoroughly deserved 3 points. Brentford changed from a back 5 to a back 4 against Amorim's 3 at the back system, but head coach Keith Andrews kept his midfield 3 of Jordan Henderson, Yari Yarmolenko and Mikkel Damsgaard. Not for the first time this season, United's midfield pivot of Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte were outnumbered and overrun by Brentford. Asked if he felt it was an area to target, Andrews said, "It's the natural way you prepare for games. You try and create overloads. One of which would be if we have a 3-man midfield, they have a 2. But you could flip it and say if their wide players tuck in then they have a 4. But I certainly felt how we tried to entice them onto us and try and play around, or through, at times, would be on. And I felt, going back to it, the players did that with real courage and conviction." On goalscorer Thiago, Andrews added, "He's getting real rhythm in his game now and confidence in his game. He's shown exactly why the football club brought him here. He's such a powerful player. Very positive individual and very selfless." United, losers in every league game in which they have trailed this season, were unable to cope with Brentford, who terrorized their visitors from set pieces. Altay Bayender made 2 fine saves from Henderson and then Collins but was at fault for Thiago's second. The Brentford striker just had to fire in from close range after Kevin Shade's cross was spilled by Bayender in the 6-yard box. Thiago needed just 6 touches to score his 2 goals, which takes him to 5 in 7 games this season. This was the first time Amorim had started United's £207 million front 3 of Mbeumo, Sesko, and Matheus Cunha. For the first time in 2025, the Blues ended a Premier League game at Stamford Bridge without any points. A second-half red card for Trevoh Chalobah proved costly against Brighton and Hove Albion, who made their man advantage count in the latter stages to score 3 times in 23 minutes. It had all started so well for the Blues, who were in control throughout the opening 45 minutes and deservedly went into the halftime interval ahead after Enzo Fernandez headed home from close range via a deflected Reece James cross. However, 5 minutes after the restart, a poor back pass from Andre Santos enabled Diego Gomez to break forward toward our goal before going down under pressure from Chalobah. After a VAR review, the Blues defender was sent off. It took some time, but Brighton made their man advantage count. Danny Welbeck leveled the score with a close-range header in the 77th minute and, in stoppage time, Maxim de Kuiper put the visitors ahead. Welbeck added a third in the final minutes to round off the scoring. Maresca made 7 changes to his side. Robert Sanchez returned in goal after serving his 1-game suspension. James and Marc Cucurella reclaimed the full-back roles. Moises Caicedo was back in the Blues midfield, and Estevao Willian, Pedro Neto, and João Pedro came into the attack. There was a notable buzz around Stamford Bridge before kick-off, and that was reflected in the start made by the Blues. We moved the ball crisply and instantly probed the Seagulls' backline. Bart Verbruggen had an early save to make as he was forced to scramble across goal and palm wide a free kick from Fernandes. Cucurella then flashed an attempt narrowly wide of the Brighton goal from distance. Verbruggen was worked again inside the opening 10 minutes. It was the turn of James to test the Brighton goalkeeper from a free kick, which the Chelsea captain arched toward the top corner. Again, it was saved. Brighton posed little threat to the Chelsea goal in the early exchanges. A ball flashed across the 6-yard box by Yankuba Minte and a free kick whipped in from the left held by Sanchez was the extent of the visitors' threat. Deadlock broken. In contrast, the Blues looked capable of opening up the Brighton backline. Estevao saw a couple of shots blocked from promising positions, but the opening goal arrived midway through the opening period. Caicedo was given too much time in midfield to pick a pass, which he slipped beyond the Seagulls' defense and into the path of James. The Chelsea captain's attempted cross clipped the leg of Kaoru Mitoma and bounced up over Verbruggen and into the path of Fernandes, who was able to crane his neck and head home.